What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. So, today is a beautiful day. It's freezing. My cheeks are red, and I'm a fair skinned man. So, tell me, how does that happen? All right, clearly, it's cold. All right, carriers, stay warm. Protect yourself from frostbite. It's serious out here. All right, wear gloves. All right, take your time. All right, don't listen to management trying to force you to get things done in 8 hours. All right, it takes what it takes. All right, guys, I got my ballot. I did. I got my ballot, and guess how I voted? I accept to reject the bullshit. All right, guys, that's how I'm voting. You guys know how I'm voting. It's important to know that this is how we stand together as a union. Fighting for better working conditions and better wages starts with the rejection of this tentative agreement. What happens next? That's the big question, and that's where we need to start focusing our energy. What happens if door A opens, which means the tentative agreement is rejected? And then what happens if door B is open, if the tentative agreement passes? All right? And I'll start with the latter. If the tentative agreement passes, guys, that shows that a majority of this union has felt that we waited too long, and they're hurting. The members are hurting, and they need money. Okay, this is a financial matter. That's all this is, a financial matter. If the tentative agreement passes, is because the idea of dangling back pay in the front of a starving wolf, or dangling a piece of meat in the face of a starving wolf was effective. Okay, if they dangled a back pay in front of you, it was effective, that you needed it right now, and by any means necessary, I'm going to vote to approve this agreement as fast as I can so I can get that money. All right, guys, it doesn't mean that the vast majority of people support everything inside of that tentative agreement. To be honest, most people haven't even read it. Okay, most people are only going to look at the pay. All right, guys, that's to be 100% honest. All right, that's why I advocate that, there's certain things that any future contract has to take into account, and that's going to be the cost of healthcare in the future. Okay, we need to understand that the Postal Service percentage of what they pay is capped at 75%, but they only pay 72%. But the interesting thing is that their amount that they have to pay never goes up. It's only going to go down in the future. That's something that we have to be aware of. We have to understand that there are more to contracts than just our general wage increases. All right, guys, if it gets voted yes, this is just a cry that we are still being paid inadequately. All right, guys, a 1.3 or 3.9 over the course of the contract is not the reason why people are supporting the contract. Okay, they will support it because it's not only letter carriers that are hurting right now, it's the American people as whole. Okay, and we are American people. We have bills, we have fees, we have taxes, property taxes, we have things that we need to take care of. That's what happens if that door opens. Okay, that door just shows that there needs to be work done at the local level too. Okay, as well. That's what that door means. Now, if the other door opens and the tentative agreement is voted no, okay, then that door has its challenges as well. Okay, maybe there's not as much work needed on the local level, but what that door is showing us, that our national leadership is in dire need of a rescue. Okay, not only is that saying that the carrier understands that they're not getting paid adequately, but it shows that the carrier knows he's not getting paid adequately, and he's ready to fight for it. Okay, I pray that that's the door that opens, because that opens a can of worms where you have young men, young women who have demonstrated and voiced their concern that they are not being adequately represented. And what that does is put the power back into the rank and file. It puts the power back into the paying due member. It allows the carrier to voice his concern, to fight for what he believes is right, and it brings together a sense of solidarity within the union. All right. Now, in either one of those cases, there will be a division. Okay, as in politics, there is always going to be people that are right-minded and people that are left-minded. So ultimately, this tentative agreement has created uh, uh, polarization between the carriers. All right. Now, what can we expect with a vote no contract? According to Constitution language, we can wait on a 15-day period between the Postal Service and the NALC renegotiating the contract, and then after that 15-day period, we have a 5-day period where our president and the negotiators have the option to force us into arbitration. Okay, and that's where the right to arbitration becomes very important, but it becomes almost an immediate consequence of what we gained when we went on strike. Okay, the right to arbitration. That's what we fought for. That's what we have to use in the way it was meant to be used. Okay, as we go into arbitration, that's where these rallies, that's where the anger, that's where the momentum of what we've been showing throughout the country since October 17th comes into full effect. All right, guys, this is where we have the chance to show not only our employer, not only the American people, but the country as a whole, that something has happened in our country. Something has happened within the people. Okay, and it's time that people are waking up. All right, the status quo of receiving what we have received for the sake of receiving it is no longer acceptable to us. All right, but as a fighting union, we lay down the foundation for unions throughout the country. We stand in solidarity. We support organized labor. We show the carriers at Amazon that what they're doing is noble, you know, that they deserve protections as well. Okay, and so effectively going to arbitration means that we have to stand together and do the things that brings a union together. Okay, that's joining collectively. That's putting together issues that we want the arbitrator and the negotiators on our side to fight for. Okay, this is where we have a chance. If we send out surveys, if we send out polls, we got a chance as rank and file to actually voice our input on the things that we genuinely want inside of a tentative agreement. And it's not just financial. Okay, now it's like a kid at Christmas. We could wish for anything we want. However, I ask that we be realistic and use some common sense as to exactly what we can achieve in this round of arbitration, right? Because we have about 2 years before our next contract. All right, so we have to understand where the state of the country is going to be in 2026, the state of the union in 2026, and what issues can be better represented at that time. At this time, I think the most important thing is to show the strength of numbers, to show that 80% of our membership has collectively turned down the tentative agreement, and from there we take it to the streets. All right, what can that mean? There's a multiple variety of things that I have in my mind. I'm not going to necessarily share those things because that will be impulsive. So I'm just going to wait, just like you, until January 13th and see what happens then. But guys, the opportunities are endless. All right, so don't be discouraged. Don't get anxious. Don't suffer from anxiety. All right, guys, the deadlines are going to come. The time is going to come. All right, just stay put, but stay ready. All right, and when the word goes out, and the solution for some of our problems start to be revealed, I hope that you guys are willing to act on them. All right, and I'm not talking about anything like that. So no, don't think I'm talking about that. We do have a no strike clause, and I would never recommend a strike. But there are other things that we can do to stand together and to show that this union is strong again. All right, guys, that's what I got for today. Have a great week. Stay warm. Thank you guys for all you do during the peak season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Until next time I'll be here, you'll be there. Peace.